Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I'm at Peugeot Lebanon taking a full in-depth review at the 2021 Peugeot 208. I'm a huge fan of Peugeot's latest design styling, so let's see what this car is all about.
If you're remotely familiar with Peugeot as a brand, you'll agree that its vehicles, even though reliable, haven't been the most appealing over the past couple decades. However, plans to move the brand upmarket are finally coming to fruition, starting with the new premium-looking logo, first seen on the new 308. The brand identity is being reinvented with fresh new designs and high-quality cabins reintroduced by the French automaker, now operating under the huge Stellantis. The latter also confirmed Peugeot won't return to the USA for the time being. 3 powertrains are currently available for the new 208, including an all-electric variant with a class-leading range of 340 kilometers. In Lebanon, we get the most powerful 130 petrol mated to an 8-speed auto. The 208 is currently offered in 5 trim levels, with our GT variant sitting highest on the trim ladder. In this video, I'll be comparing the GT with the more affordable Active, also on display, and I'll show you the main improvements between the old and new generation 208. If you enjoy this type of content, make sure to like this video and feel free to skip to any part using YouTube chapters.
Right off the bat, you'll notice that Peugeot knows exactly how to make an interior fresh and exciting, especially in the subcompact B segment. Looking at competitors from the likes of Renault, Hyundai and Nissan, you'll find this 208 much more appealing. It's important for these brands to make these small cars as young and funky and appealing, because most buyers looking into these small cars are only buying based on looks. Now, before switching to point of view style, so you can see for yourself, there are 3 things I wanted to mention. Starting off with the seats, they're cloth seats, but you have leather accents all around. Then you have a green stitching, which I really like. They hold you in quite well. You have nice leather bolstering over here on the side. The 3D i-Cockpit in front of me, this is Peugeot's famous digital display. It does that with an LCD display over there on the top, and then it reflects it on the glass of the instrument panel. Very smart and very nice to see in person. The steering wheel, again, it's a small go-kart steering wheel that we saw on the 3008 a couple of years back. You can check my full review. But anyways, taking a look at it, I love the way it looks. We have piano black accents over there on the top, and then basic controls for your multimedia. I like that they've kept it simple and easy to use. And then the materials all around the cabin, we have plastic over here on the top, and then these carbon fiber like trim, and I like how it's curved. Really nice touch with the 2-step dashboard over here. Alright then, so let's start off our POV tour by turning on the car. First of all, put your foot on the brake and keep on pressing the start stop button, and everything lights up in front of you. We have a digital display, the 3D cockpit I'm going to be showing you in a second, and then the center screen over here, which you can control with these touch sensitive buttons. If I want to go to navigation, I simply put my finger over here, and then you're going to have navigation. It's not really set up on this car yet, but I mean, you get the point. We have settings over here. It's actually a really fast and intuitive system. I really like using it. Let's just turn that on. It's actually very hot over here in Lebanon. So again, taking a look at the steering wheel, the small steering wheel that you get, we have the controls for your volume over here and voice command, and then these simply control what you have over here with the different modes. For example, if I want to go to navigation, it's gonna display the navigation over here. Again, as I said, it's yet to be configured, but I mean, switching on to, for example, driving, you're gonna have different dials. You can go to minimum, for example. You're gonna have it displayed over here. And then over here on the left, some basic stuff again for your radio and telephone. The trim I was talking about, the carbon fiber like trim over here, which is nicely done. Automatic windows, obviously, with the nice ambient lighting. I love the way it looks. We have 8 colors. If you want to change the ambient lighting, simply press on this car over here, go to vehicle setting, and then go to comfort, and then mood lighting. Over here, you press on the setting, and then you change the color. Let's go, for example, to cyan over here, or for example to orange. And then I love the toggle switches that you get. The indicator over here, which you press it, you're gonna have them on the right and the left. Let's just turn that off. And then AC max, if I simply press it, you're gonna see how aggressively it blows in front of me. Locking and unlocking the car from here with a press. And then over here, this is usually closed in the trim. It's nicely finished. You press it, you're gonna have a phone stand over here, which is really cool, and then wireless phone charging, which is always appreciated in these cars. USB ports on the right and the left. This is a USB-C, as you can see, and then this is your conventional USB port. Down below, again, some more storage space with a 12-volt power outlet. Your gauge selector. I wish we had the shift-by-wire gauge selector on this car, but we have the conventional with markings, of course, for the gears. And then 2 cup holders over here, electronic parking brake. And then for the driving modes, you press as such. Again, it's gonna change in the display in front of you. Now, in terms of storage space inside the new 208, opening up the glove box over here, you can see it has a decent size. It's quite deep. You can fit some stuff. The door bins are actually a very nice size. You can fit a big bottle of water over here with some stuff over there. And then opening up the center console, which I I reckon it's very deep, as you can see. You can put a lot of stuff over here, which is nice, and then small cubby space for your coins, keys, whatever. You just hide it in there, and it's nicely leather wrapped and it's nicely padded, actually. Very nice elbow rest.
The new 208 sits on Stellantis CMP modular platform dedicated to B and C segments and accommodates all power sources. 3 petrol and 1 diesel engines are available, both of which are offered with various drivetrains, and you'll notice models are referred to by their metric horsepower number. While power figures may seem underwhelming, remember that the 208 doesn't weigh much, relatively speaking, which makes for a fun driving experience. 0 to 100 is in 8.7 seconds on the 130, and it achieves a decent 44.3 miles per gallon. The all-electric E208 has a 50 kWh battery, good for 136 PS and 260 Nm of torque, and going electric does sacrifice agility as curb weight increases by 300 kilograms. Electric range tops out at 340 kilometers, and charging time varies between 30 minutes with a 100 kilowatt charger to 16 hours with a conventional domestic socket. To calculate the charging time, simply divide battery capacity with the charger's output. Like a lot of manufacturers making EVs now, Peugeot offers a warranty of 8 years or 160,000 kilometers for 70% of its charge capacity, which guarantees that the battery will retain 70% of its capacity through the warranty period.
Alright, so jumping into the backseat of the 208, I'm 186 centimeters or 6'1", and you can see my legs do touch the front seat. There's a nice cutout over here to let my legs breathe a bit, but I mean, it's a tight squeeze. Over there on the top, my head doesn't touch the roof. I have this bit of headroom, which is nice, and I like the design that they've made for the roof, so that's a smart touch by Peugeot. We don't have center armrest, unfortunately, but I mean, closing up the door, it doesn't feel claustrophobic at all. We have big windows, so you have a nice view of the road. The D pillar is slightly big, and you can see how it curves around. We have 2 USB ports down at the bottom, which is nice if you want to charge. If I want to sit in the middle, I'm going to try. The seat is surprisingly comfortable, but I mean, I wouldn't recommend it unless, you know, you have to. But these very smart cutouts over here are a very nice touch by Peugeot.
The 208 gets 60-40 split back seats, which are very easy to operate, and folding the rear seats increases boot space from 311 liters to a fair 1,106 liters. Reliability has been improved recently, opposite to what people may think. The PureTech 1.2 you get on the 208 has won Engine of the Year in its category 3 times in a row for its good performance and low fuel consumption. It is recommended though that you check for the accessory belt and replace it at around 35,000 kilometers due to low durability. Other than that, the engine is solid, and its popularity in many Stellantis vehicles translates into low running costs.
Alright, so let's take a look at the screen. I just want to start off by saying that it's of very high quality, it's very intuitive, and I really like the system on this car. Starting off with the far right over here with the different profiles. If I go to profile 1, for example, right now it's going to change to the previous profile. You're going to have a different color, obviously changes in the instrument panel. I had it all in red, so when I simply press on profile 2, it's going to change right here, as you can see. To change the climate control stuff, you can either press this button over here to change that in direction, or for example, if we were back in settings, you can simply press on this number over here to change the fan speed and the temperature, which is pretty cool. Then coming on to this button over here, it goes to Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You just have to connect your phone, and then this is for a telephone, again connecting a phone. This goes to vehicle settings, this small car emblem over here, and you can change different stuff. You can turn off traction control from here. If I go to vehicle settings, parking, these are the functionalities that you get. Headlights, you know, you can configure it, the welcome light, for how long you want it. If I go back to comfort, for example, you're gonna have the ambient lighting changed from here, as I showed you, and you can change the intensity of that with the different colors over here, which is pretty cool. Let's go back. Safety, for example, again, some stuff that you can change. And then we still have music. If you press on that, it's going to have radio, and then other stuff. If I go to options really quickly over here, you're going to have you know, your different controls. I really love this updated center screen, even though the 7-inch gets you the same functionalities, but it's slightly smaller. But again, the same stuff. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are over there, and you can see the 3D look. I don't know how much my camera picks it up, but I mean, it does look good in person. All right, so taking an exterior walk around of the new Peugeot 208. As you mentioned, this is the top of the line GT trim level. So you got the updated lighting elements with the LED strips called the claws over here, and then the fang down at the bottom. We have Peugeot full LED technology, and that's me over there. I really love the look on this car. We have a big grille at the front with the 208 emblem. Now this is going to be replaced with the new Peugeot emblem on the facelift of this car sometime in the coming years. We have 17-inch rims on this car, and they do look really good, contrasting nicely with the black paint. Aluminum over here, and this This is kind of plasticky, but I mean, they do look good with the gray brake calipers. Completing our walk around the side, again, GT emblem over there. And again, these claw LED tail lights, which I'm a big fan of. We have a sporty double race spoiler, which is actually standard on all models, not just on the GT line. 2 exhaustive down at the bottom, which are not fake actually, so it's nicely done. And then GT emblem on the 208. If I quickly switch from the GT line to the slightly lesser trim levels over here in red, and then over there in gray, the standard LED lights still get a Peugeot LED technology over here, but I mean, they're not the full-on LEDs with the claws. And then the strip down at the bottom, which is standard on all models, which is nice to see. And then coming on to the back, on this brighter color, you can see the difference in design, and you can actually see the black accents that you couldn't tell actually on the black one over there. Also black accents on this double spoiler, standard on all Peugeot 208s. So I've quickly switched to the Allure variant. You can see we get the standard steering wheel with the cloth seats. Let's just jump in really quickly and show you the difference in design. You can see we don't get the i-Cockpit, the standard analog gauges, and then this is the smaller screen. Let's just turn on the car with the key fob over here. Turning it on. You can see the smaller display with the analog gauges. And then this is the same screen we saw on the other one, but I mean, it's smaller, but you get the same functionality, and then Apple CarPlay and Android Auto obviously available on this car too. But overall, it's basically the same. You can see the smaller gear shifter actually, and then this part was over here in the back, but it's overall basically the same. And over here at Peugeot Lebanon, we have the previous generation 208, so we can kind of compare the difference in design, the new design language that Peugeot is aiming for, and I'm a huge fan of that. You can see that this has started to show its age. We have the previous Peugeot logo down at the bottom, and then the old generation LED lighting elements with the LED strip. If I quickly take a look at the interior, you can see how dated this looks. Even though it's not that old. Let's just turn that off for a second. You can see the previous generation steering wheel, which is really ugly. I'm gonna be honest, with the gated automatic shifter down there at the bottom. We have a center screen, but I mean, nothing compared to the new generation. The instrument cluster is kind of similar on the new ones, especially on this one. And if you quickly take a look at the back, you can see the dated look on the 208 and how much more impressive the new generation is.
So you'll agree that the glow up on the 208 has made it one of the best looking cars in its segment, offering the funkiest of interiors while still being user-friendly. The new generation has slightly grown in size, and don't worry about spaciousness as it's a wide interior to accommodate 2 adults very comfortably. It's much wider than the Jimny's interior, by the way. You've probably picked up by now that the new 208 did impress me, and I honestly couldn't find any faux pas to point out. It ticks all boxes for someone looking into buying an affordable first car. I mean, you got a bunch of tech goodies and a stylish looking body that's sure to offer a pleasant and reliable ownership.